Hey, we're back. I see you, Rebel. I see you. I was concerned. We have weather here, so I was concerned today, and I had mentioned I didn't know if I was going to have difficulty streaming today due to the weather. Let me know when you make it back, peeps. Let me know when you make it back. I see you, Rebel. So far, I got you back. And we are just going to give folks time to make it back in the door. We're going to give you time to make it back in the door. I see you, Jonna. I see you. Good to see you. Royal Confessions, I see your back. I see your hand up, Jonna. You are a true student. I can see you. I can tell you've been at home with your kids all this time. It's like, raise your hands. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're gonna give the others a little bit of time to get back in here, and we're gonna move it on. As I was saying when I first made it back in, we've got storms here, so I was wondering if I was gonna have some difficulty today in this stream. So y'all hang with me, and we're gonna try to make it through. Let's see. I am back, Mel. I'm glad you made it back. Glad you made it back. Let me get this multi-stream rolling over here. Awesome. Yes, please go ahead and like the stream again. Thank you, Rashida. Share the stream, subscribe, whatever you haven't done out there. Get that going, and we're going to get this crack-a-lacking. My apologies again. I do know that we have weather here, so I don't know if that's part of what's going on here or not. But we're going to try to bear and make it through until 9 o'clock. 7:34. It's awful early, y'all. It's awful early. It's awful early to get crosswise. But in the meantime, as people are coming back, I know it's going to take a minute for some, and I appreciate those of you that are diligent. Thank you so much for liking the stream. I appreciate that so much, Jonna. Now, you know, at the end of the day, we have to look at the reality again. HUD has a tremendous. Thank you for liking the stream. I appreciate you all. Make sure I'm not buffering again. I'm getting toasty, y'all. Bring that fan up a little closer. So at the end of the day, the Hatch Act, for those that don't know what the Hatch Act is, thank you all for coming back. I appreciate it. As I said, we've got weather here, so I didn't know if weather was going to impact us today or not. Thank you for liking the stream, Sheila Miles and Teresa and Jonna and Rashida. I appreciate all you guys for liking this second stream. So the Hatch Act basically does not allow you to do partisan type things in a federal employment position. And so at the end of the day, when we saw a lot of people were upset when we saw 45 holding events at the White House, you know, all of those types of things, the partisan talking that they did and went out while they were in their official capacity. You cannot do that. So at the end of the day, you have to look at the whole scenario and say, and I tell people this all the time, Black folk and people of color, I don't care what other people are doing. Do not deceive yourself to think that you can do what everybody else is doing because they're getting away with it. Because at the end of the day, whenever they get ready and whenever they want to, they are going to put you out to dry. They gonna hang you out there to dry, baby. So I look and I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it in politics. We had a situation here locally where we had a local politician did the same thing that everybody else had done in housing, and one person, you know, we get the hammer down and go to jail, and everybody else still trotting around. And you try to figure out what is the difference. There is none except for the reality that your skin is black. Don't forget it. So Miss Patton at the end, and then what makes it, I really am upset with her. What makes it so heart-wrenching is because HUD, of all places, HUD, where we see a tremendous amount of need for people of color, to use your position in HUD to exact unfair treatment towards the people that you're supposed to be serving in a partisan way. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. So don't get me wrong. The violin that I'm playing is like this. It's not a full violin. It's like this for Miss Patton. But at the end of the day, when I look at the numbers of people and high-level officials in the Trump cabinet that were all guilty of the Hatch Act, why are we just talking about her? Why is she the one that has been pulled out and singled out and prosecuted? So, listen, they got 17 people. They went on down the list, y'all. They said, listen, and you need to get Michael O'Reilly, Dan Scavino, Nikki Haley, Stephanie Grisham, Alyssa Farah, Madeline Westerhout, Jessica Ditto, Helen Aguilar-Ferret, Kellyanne Conway. Can we go get Kelly? Can we go get Miss Conway? Mike Pompeo, Lynn Patton. Listen, the list goes on. The list goes on and on and on. But at the end of the day, Miss Patton, you are the weakest link in their minds. Goodbye. And this is an area where I don't know if the idea is if we just give one sacrifice out there, one sacrificial lamb, will they forgive us and let us keep going? Will they say, oh, they prosecuted somebody for the Hatch Act. They got somebody for the Hatch Act. They may not have gotten them all, but at least they got one. And when I look at Miss Patton, Lynn Patton, in comparison to Mike Pompeo, okay, Kellyanne Conway, okay, you get the picture. Nonetheless, she has had this waged against her, rightfully so. I'm not trying to say it was wrong. I'm just saying, look at the scenario and tell me what's going on with that picture. Now, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, it was reported to me when we woke up, when I rose this morning, I didn't have no doubt. It was reported to me that people have started filing complaints against Trump. Am I surprised? Because they ran a website called Win Red. Win Red. And these people thought they were donating, didn't think they were donating to 45's campaign. And when they got finished, unbeknownst to them, the way the system was set up, you know how you check the little check boxes? Well, by default, Rebel, it's gonna be something just dastardly. I might as well go ahead and just, by default, the checkbox was donate monthly, and then some as a recurring a debit. And then some of them changed from recurring monthly to recurring weekly. And so these donors who thought that they were giving, and in some instances, one man is deceased and his family is trying to fight for him because they basically wiped out this man's bank account and then he died. So these people, and another little old, I think that the man that I saw on the interview today, he was like 79 years old. He gave what he thought was a one-time donation of $990 to the campaign. Listen, Jonna, this is a mess. This man could care less about these people. So this man gave $990 to Teresa all day long. Then he said, because this is a senior citizen who had limited and restricted income, I think $990 is a whole lot of money. But he gave what he thought, and you have to read he's got jargon and rhetoric like, if you want this country, and they start all that racist rhetoric like fear mongering and oh my God, and this is your last chance to give, and please, 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 you got too much. So then the man said, unbeknownst to him, he turns around and the next thing you know, he's wiped out. Because the $990 was a recurring payment. Now, this was the thing too, because not only was it already by default selected, it was also grayed out. Now, disgusting, Teresa. Just listen, could it be? The devil? Baby, that ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. That's all that is. This man could care less. And the majority, this is what makes the cheese more binding and even more traumatic. The majority of these people that got caught in this web were senior citizens. White senior citizens. He put the nails to them. Could it be? The devil. This man doesn't care about his own base. And so, as if that weren't enough, the devil is loose, Rebel. The devil is loose. If that wasn't bad enough, the next story that I read while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, they're trying to chase down $600 million that have gone missing. You heard what I said. The next story, $600 million from this shell corporation that they made and created while they were campaigning, allegedly, for campaign donations and funding, so that the Federal Election Commission, the FEC, is now being called in to do an investigation because $600 million has gone missing. Could it be? The devil. This ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. But now let me unshade and come here, because y'all know when I shade, I don't just throw shade, I shed light. So at the end of the day, y'all, is anybody surprised? Surprised? Now, this is the thing I want to understand about. Why is Trump and all of his hind part hips still walking free? This man should be under everybody. Listen, take a hand and put it in New York. Take a leg and put it in Florida. Take the rest of the body parts and just stretch it all across the country, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Because this man has committed crimes everywhere. It's the devil, Trayvon. That's my son, y'all. It's good to see you this morning. It is nothing but that. Oh, I gotta do it one more time for my son. Could it be? The devil. Baby, this ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. Because at the end of the day, this man should be under everybody's jail. What are we waiting for? I just want to understand it. But I said, and I really did, for a half a heartbeat, I felt sorry for the little old man while he was telling his story. And I said half a heartbeat, because the other half of my heartbeat was like, you're racist. I ain't gonna lie. The other half of my heartbeat said, you're racist, and you get what you get. Because your whole purpose for voting for this man and putting all this $990, and now you want to come back snotting and crying talking about how you need your money. Listen, you needed that $990 and to have voted for Joe Biden. That's what you needed to have done. But your racist tail got caught with the devil. I'm trying to tell you, when you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. And your money did flee. Your money fleed. It fled. Listen, it costs. It hate costs, Jonna. Hate costs. Your money, your little hatred soul, your little tiny, yeah, all of those issues that you have, that $999 that walked right on out of your bank account. Now, this is the other thing that I want to bring up that they specified and really looked at, because a lot of these are senior citizens. Now, this is where your fraud comes in, y'all. The little PP energy. I wasn't going to say it, Rebel. I wasn't going to say it. But since you said it in the chat, I'm going to read your comment from the chat. Little PP energy. So at the end of the day, this is what hatred cost you. But this is the fraud. It was grayed out. And these are senior citizens. Now, most senior citizens do not know how to navigate the internet anyway. Now, all of us know that when you see a grayed out box, you can't just readily change it. You have to go back and go through some processes and this and that and the other to get that, because usually the grayed out, it's done. It's like you've already elected and selected. You're done. And the grayed out, it's like it's something that is almost mandatory, if you will, because unless I can get rid of that grayed out check mark on that box, it is what it is. Now, this is where the fraud comes in, beloved, because at the end of the day, these boxes were already not only checked, but also grayed out. Could it be the devil? Ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. And so at the end of the day, these people were preyed upon. And that part I have to feel sorry for, truly. Racist or not, they did not deserve to be cheated and mistreated. They really didn't. Now, hatred takes you a long way, but at the end of the day, they still did not deserve to be cheated. So I really, when I read those two stories back to back, and this is the takeaway that I'm getting, the heat is coming down. Now, this is a couple of things that they found out. Check this out. So I had Eric, Trump's wife, was reportedly being paid from this shell corporation. A couple of other family members were also being paid from this corporation, and then the rest of the money just got up and ran. Now, I'm gonna say it because I said it when they first started raising this money. This man has no intention whatsoever in using this money for election purposes. The whole reality here is that at the end of the day, this man needs money. And he's basically using and fleecing his base to give him money so he can live on when he leaves the White House. Now, I peeped that out. Ray Charles could have seen that coming. Ray Charles could have seen that coming, y'all. So at the end of the day, when I look at that whole scenario of what took place right there, there's no shock, there's no amazement, there's no surprise, because at the end of the day, you cannot tell me anybody in their right mind believed that this man wasn't con. There you go, royal confession. Con by con artists, not just Trump. And you're exactly right, because it came out, His campaign manager was taking money out of this slush fund. As a matter of fact, it was reported to me that the campaign manager actually was seen after he took the money out with the brand new car and going on about his merry way. All of these are violations to election rules, and there are limits. Let's deal with that. There's limits to how much money you can contribute to a campaign. And so at the end of the day, what are we going through in this country that allows these con artists, multiple, plural? You are exactly right, Royal Confessions. What is it that allows these con artists to keep on taking advantage, raping and molesting financially, mentally, emotionally? These people are in a pickle. And who cares? I can tell you who doesn't care is 45. That's who doesn't care, nor his family. And it's reported to me that his whole entire family is in on this fund. So at the end of the day, I feel sorry for the people that were conned, and I feel sorry for I'm trying to remember the name that the man used. He said it wasn't swindle, it wasn't thief. He used one of them 78, 80-year-old words. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't a cuss word, but basically he was just saying, these people took advantage of me, and now I am out here and my money is gone. Now, I do believe that the the Federal Election Commission does have some way and some oversight. I don't know how in the world, and Royal Confessions, you may know better than me on this, because I really don't know. When people have been swindled and scammed like that through an election process, I don't know what the course of action is to get their money back, but I would have to think there's some kind of way to get those finances returned to those individuals. Is it a long drawn out process? If it is out there, I don't know. And when you talk about some little old man like this that's been taken advantage of because he was racist, you still have to have compassion for the human condition, for real, for real. So I'm sorry that you lost all your money, sir. I'm sorry that you didn't know. But if you don't know, now you know. This joker is a crook. Oh my God. So as we keep on going, I want to look a little bit further, just a little bit further, just a little bit further. So as we look in, just in 9 hours ago, Tishara Jones becomes the first black woman elected mayor of St. Louis. Oh my goodness. Come on. I'm going to give her some applause. Let me get to the right screen here. The first black mayor of St. Louis. The first black woman. Let me get that correct. The first black woman mayor of St. Louis. And so I'm glad that we see, I know, Rebel, we see diversity taking hold. And that's one thing that I want to stress and identify. Let me applaud that one more time, Jonna. I love it. It's almost like we had to come here so that we could see the changes take place. And so it's like, it's hard that we're in this place with George Floyd and all of the things that we're going through right now. But listen, there are powers that are at hand. There are powers. God is behind the scene. And I said this some time ago. Jesus is fixing it, y'all. It's something where we identify and recognize that it took everything that has happened to this point to get us here. I don't know about you, but I've come to a phase and stage even in my life where it's like you start appreciating when you were going through as a youngster, when you were going through as a young adult, and you didn't have the greatest of appreciation for it. When you get to, as I am in my moving into my golden years, you start appreciating everything it took to get you here. So I'm looking at all of the Breonna Taylors. I'm looking at all the Sandra Blands. I'm looking at all of the George Floyds, all of the scenarios. We can go right down the list and start naming them one by one and name by name, and even go back further than that. Let's start with my brother Emmett Till, and even before, prior to that. We can look at all of those different places and appreciate it, because it took all of that to get us here to where Tashara Jones can now be the first Black elected woman mayor of St. Louis. I just think it's marvelous, and it may be a hard journey getting here, but I said this some time ago. You're going to really start seeing Black women come to the fore during this season and this time, because we have been on the absolute bottom rung of the ladder. We have been on the absolute bottom rung of the ladder, and now there's going to be an elevation. Yes, I said it, an elevation. And that's why you have some that are still mired and in the muck and mire of patriarchy, that really are squirming, and they're upset, just like racist white people and racist and privileged people are just really stressing out about diversity coming. There are a lot of people that are mired in patriarchy that really do not want to hear about the advancement of women, and again, especially not the advancement of Black women. And that includes Black men who are not necessarily thrilled, tickled, and overjoyed to hear that Black women are making inroads. However, you can't stop this. You cannot stop this. We are on the move. It's coming forth. And this becomes the issue, because many times when you're dealing with patriarchy, and again, I'm still talking about Tashara Jones, and I'm so excited and happy for this woman. When we start looking at the realities of it, the same way that racist people have been fearful, we're going to be outnumbered. They're going to outnumber us, and they're going to push us out of our power. They're going to push us out of our money. It's that same thing when we start looking at patriarchy. You have those males that are fearful, and I'm going to say especially in the Black church, because the Black church would not exist without Black women. Hello, somebody. I'm going to give us an applause. The Black church would not exist without Black women. If the Black church had to exist off of Black males, there would not be a Black church. So when you start looking at it just by sheer numbers and populace and the money that's provided and given, if we look at it from those numbers alone, you understand that Black men are now feeling very threatened, just like racist old white men are scared of being pushed out. Misogynistic Black men are also fearful of being pushed out of their positions of power and authority, because when Black women start coming to the fore, listen, especially in the Black church, it's going to get dicey. So at the end of the day, that's a reality that we're dealing with. That's a reality that, listen, ain't no play. This is what we're up against. But nonetheless, we cannot be stopped. We will not be stopped, because it's all about equity. And that simple word is powerful. I don't care how you try to come up with any kind of explanation. I'm loving it that we're coming to the forefront in government. I love it that we're coming to the forefront in the corporate arena. I love it that we're going to come to the forefront in the ministerial arena, in the church realm, in religion. We're coming forth, and this is the hour of Black women, and I'm excited. It's the hour for everybody. But then, as I say all the time, even when we start talking about Black Lives Matter, everybody's house isn't on fire. And so the fireman doesn't need to water down everybody's house. We need to put it where the fire is. And for patriarchy and the dismantling thereof, Black women are at the bottom of everybody's rung. And this is a time that you're going to see an elevation. And for that, I'm going to applaud one more time. Kudos to Tashara Jones. I'm so happy for that. I'm so happy for that. So as we keep on moving on down the road, the news, it was reported to me After a swarm of quakes hit LA, experts are saying don't panic and the things that you need to know. Now, I was in bed yesterday before I even got up to get on this podcast yesterday morning, and my dear friend from LA sent me a text and said, hey G, we just had an earthquake, and I can't remember exactly what it hit on the Richter scale, and thereafter they are just having a rash of little earthquakes. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you, this is your spiritual thought leader, and perfect love casts out all fear. But I would be packing my bags. I'm just saying. They have had a rash of earthquakes, and they get them all the time. Y'all, listen, take the money and run, Rebel. Take the money and run. And I'm looking and I'm saying, you know, now at the end of the day, y'all, I love it out there. But y'all know, and it's been predicted for years, that the big one is gonna eventually hit. Now y'all give me a 1 if you would stay, give me a 2 if you'd be packing your bags. And I'm not saying, plan it out, figure it out, get your everything in order. Don't just, I got a 2, don't just up and be foolish. But babies, y'all know that the big one's coming. Now, so the article, it was reported to me, the article this morning is really trying to say, after a swarm, and I like the fact that they use the word swarm, S-W-A-R-M. After this last swarm of quakes that has hit LA, the experts are coming out saying, don't panic. It said from the initial cluster of the rumblings to all of the aftershocks, Monday's swarm of earthquakes, I thought she told it was 4.4. I wasn't sure, but I wanted to get that right. Don't let that get your nerves. Don't let that get your nerves. It's just more than 80 aftershocks was reported. More than 80 aftershocks have been reported. So, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, I love LA. I tell you, I love it. Had a great time. No, Saints. But they're saying it was only between 4.0 and 4.4. So, you know, on the Richter scale, in somebody's opinion, that is not anything worth being concerned about. But 80 of them, y'all, 80. I don't know, y'all, but something down in my shondo is not feeling that. Something down in my shondo says I would be looking for a relocation. That's just me. And it's not fear. It's like, how many times are we gonna go through this scenario? And I know my friend has been there for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years. And when she first got there, you know, they had one that literally, it was enough to open the cabinets, you know, pull your stuff out onto the floor and all of that. Now, and other than that, you know, they've had shocks where it's just like you just feel this sudden boom, you know, almost like a Mack truck just hit your house or hit your apartment or whatever. And it's just a shock. That is a lot. And so just so you know, for everybody that's out there or planning to go out in LA direction, they seem like they're having a few issues out there right now. So you might want to rethink that right this second. That's just my opinion. You don't have to listen to it, but that's what I think. Now, as we get on, there is the issue. COVID-19 is still rising. The numbers are still going up. And what they're identifying, those numbers are going up because these new variants that are here are starting to sweep across the country. I'd be interested to know from the companies that are providing these vaccines. I'd be interested to know more information from the companies, which ones, because many of us have been vaccinated. I know that I'm fully vaccinated. I believe most of my family is fully vaccinated. But there are some individuals, I told you the story yesterday of the man whose 19-year-old son came in and infected him the day before he was supposed to, or he came down with it rather, the day before he was supposed to go get his vaccine. And his wife, who was fully vaccinated, came down with a mild version of COVID because he came in with one of these off-brand strains of COVID. So I'm interested to know of those of us that are vaccinated. So that by itself, y'all, brings up the point. This isn't the time to take off your mask. This isn't your time to stop socially distancing. This isn't the time to do all of that stuff, because we still are not out of the woods, because there are other variants and strains out there in the public that we need to pay attention to. So that being said, the rise that's coming back up, as I said on yesterday, and again the article this morning, and why is it getting publicity and trending now? Because they're really trying to get people to understand there's an uptick. There's currently an uptick in COVID. Do not let your guards down. There's currently a continued uptick in COVID, and those other variants and strains are out there. So again, not for fear mongering, but I want us to be safe. I want us to be cautious. I think in my mind's eye, a lot of the laxity that we're seeing is because people have been vaccinated. People are feeling like I'm fully vaccinated. Now I got 100% immunity from this disease and all variants thereof. Again, as I started to say earlier, I would like to see the companies come out and tell us which strains their particular vaccine covers and which new strains it does not cover. Because I think that's something, me personally, I would like to know. Yes, I've been fully vaccinated, but what does my vaccine cover in the strains that are out there? And then which strains do you know are not covered by this shot that I have, by these shots that we've taken? So I'm hoping that there's going to be some kind of response and some kind of information. I see you, Rebel. Me Too. This is the Me Too movement. And you know what? That's going to take me someplace else, because anybody that doesn't know, this month, April, is domestic. Sexual abuse and sexual assault survivors month. So I said Me Too. I was getting ready to do a twist on that from the Me Too movement, but it just triggered in my mind that I do need to acknowledge for all of the survivors and all of the Tors and not the Tims. So I say Victor, victim. I'm a Victor, so I'm a Tor, not a Tim. I want to applaud you. Let me just stop right there and give you an applause for everybody that has survived it. Yeah, you made it. But I do want to go back to the idea of, I would like to know what my vaccine covers in the variants that are out there. Would you put a 1 in there if you want to know, put a 2 if you don't, if it doesn't matter. But the uptick is what I'm really bringing out today, because again, it's trending, because the numbers are climbing right back up. So let's be vigilant. Let's be cautious and mindful. Wear your mask, even when you go hither, thither, and abroad, and your family. Wear your mask if folks have been out and about and you don't know where all they've been. I want you to be cautious because there are other trends and strains out there. Now, I'm going to get ready to start wrapping up here, but while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, this was another day where we actually had quite a bit of activity going on. I want to play a video for you. And again, for those that keep me abreast, I try to get out there and read, and I listen, and I watch, and I pay attention. And then some of you keep me abreast of information that I necessarily did not have in my possession. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you for doing that for me. You helped me tremendously. I want to show just a little bit of this clip that I was.
It doesn't. What do you mean? You if you know, call his parents. You can't do that. You can't do. What's your name?
And we're gonna have a discussion.
It doesn't. What do you mean? You if you know, call his parents. You can't do that.
Get this all together for you here, so you can see this particular video, and then we're gonna talk about it. Let me know what you think. So we're gonna go to just another. I just don't know what to say. Now this one doesn't result in a death, however. But you just tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Let me turn my music off, and then we're gonna cue this up. All right, here we go.
It doesn't. What do you mean? You if you know, call his parents. You can't do that. You can't do. What's your name? Hey. What's your name and your badge number? Watch out! What's your name and your badge number? What's your name and your badge number? Okay, and what's your name and badge number, ma'am? Whoa, you're touching me! You're touching me! You can't do this! Yeah, go get him! You can't do this! Look at that!
Hey, stop. Hey, look.
You're doing this to a minor. Remember, you guys are doing this to a minor. Remember that. You guys are doing this to a minor. It doesn't matter. You guys are doing this to a little ass kid. His parents should be here. You guys shouldn't be touching on him like that.
Our parents should be here. What is he doing? What is he doing? Stop talking, man. I don't feel it. That's it? Yeah, I feel it. How you like that shit?
Hey, watch out. Watch out. Don't be choking him like that. What are you doing? Get your fucking hands off his neck, bro. What are you doing? Get your fucking hands off his neck. You can't be doing that shit.
Get back, sir!
Yo, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Back up!
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I will arrest you first.
Don't touch me. For what? For what?
For my team,
For
dude.
what? For what? What can you arrest me for? For what? What can you arrest me for? What the hell? Don't touch me, please. I'm asking you, please don't touch me. You're not a cop. Don't touch me. Please, don't touch me. You're not a cop.
Don't. You just stay back. That's
I'm
all.
asking you.
You can record from a distance.
Okay.
Okay? I just need you to keep your distance. Plain and simple.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm going to be recorded.
Police brutality. Excuse me. No, I'm not going to do it.
I know. Just stay back up.
You're right. You're right.
Just
You're right. So I'm not going to do nothing. You know, I know. I'm not doing nothing for the cop. I mean, come on, that's.
No rights. Come on now.
I'm going around this way, alright, sir?
try to keep some distance.
Yeah, so you can come over here.
I just don't want to get hurt.
Yeah. All this for a little kid, bro. All this for a little kid. All this for a little kid. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're good. Don't come any closer. Stay back there. Oh, I know you. Don't mind you being recorded, okay? Don't mind at all.
No, why y'all putting a bag over his face, bro?
Stand back a little bit. Back up, please. You can record from over there, okay? Thank you, dude.
Yeah. I'm right here. I said, bro, stop resisting, bro.
Stay on the fucking floor. Take this bag off my head. Take this bag off my head.
He's not spitting. Yeah, exactly. So you can take the bag off of his head if he's not spitting, right?
You still want to risk it?
Why don't I go? I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to go anywhere.
So, my man.
How's it going?
For the bag that's there.
It doesn't. What do you mean? If you know, call his parents. You can't.
And there you have it. Now, so at the end of the day, as we look at, it took all of those people, BTD mom, it took all of those people to apprehend this little boy. It almost gave the impression of, I couldn't tell the one guard, and as you heard the man saying, you're not a police officer, don't touch me. You're not a police officer, don't touch me. So you have the police there along with whoever this guard is, and we see the guard manhandling. Listen, Jonna, because at the end of the day, we got to get to, this could be your son, your grandson, your nephew, you know, the idea that they refused to call the boy's parents, absolutely positively refused to call the boy's parents, which is what the young man kept challenging them about. The onlooker kept challenging about at the very onset, when he was like, no, if you're going to do this to this little boy, and if you're going to arrest him and anything else, why won't you call his parents? And they were now the one police officer, the one female police officer, was cooperative. The other police officer was trying to flex her little muscles and show her power, and really, she's the first one to start throwing the F-bomb around, if y'all didn't hear. So, you know, it's like, well, at the end of the day, I have some challenge for the realities that a lot of times we're dealing with officers and so-called authority who really cannot maintain their cool themselves. So at the end of the day, it's unbelievable, Rebel. So there are those out there that are going to jump on that, well, we don't know what the little boy did bandwagon. At the end of the day, he's a little boy. And as the onlooker said, you mean y'all going to do all of this for a little boy? You got backup coming. You got all of these officers showing up on the scene for a little boy that you refuse to call his parents. Now, I want every parent, every aunt, every uncle, every godparent in here, you stop and think about if that were your child being manhandled. And at the point in time, and I'm gonna tell you what I saw when I watched this, a mini version of George Floyd, because first they try to get him in the back seat. The boy keeps telling him, call my parents. And of course, he may have been taking the cue of the onlooker, but at the end of the day, he's a little kid. Now, this is what I did notice when the one police officer arrived on the scene. He didn't have an assault rifle, BTD mom. You had Dylan Roof. You've had everybody else that's taken and they walk away standing upright after having killed multiple people with body armor on. And we got to take this little boy to the ground. We got to take, did they cut me out? I see am I still there? Let me know if I'm still there, because mine went out over here. Am I still on? Am I still on? Somebody say something to me in the chat. Somebody say something to me in the chat. Hello.